You guys, hope you are fabulous and amazing and awesome. These earpods hurt my ears, but I'm sitting back, not quite as in your face as what I was yesterday at the airport. I found that really kind of hilarious. It was so funny, like watching the other people's reactions around as I wasn't very clean-mouthed, let's say. So welcome to Tuesday. Hope you're fantastic and amazing. So it was a really great weekend on the weekend, and I thought that I would share with you some really key things that not only I took out of it, but obviously like what the attendees took out of it, because that's really the most important thing, right? It's about what they get out of it, not just what the delivery of the content looks like and what that is. So the first thing that we start with, and this has to be done no matter what it is that you're doing, right? In your worlds, it always has to start with you. Everything has to start with you. And for me, what that means and what that looks like is that you've got to work out what it is that you really want, where it is that you're going. And this needs to be done on a daily basis. It needs to be done on a campaign by campaign basis. It needs to be done super, super frequently, super, super regularly, because when you lose sight of where it is that you're going and what it is that you're wanting to create, it kind of like fragments the results that you're going to get. It can slow down the results that you're going to get. So we started off with that. And then we got into some things around, well, like we've got that, that's great. Like we've most of us are really great at imagining what it is that we want. And then sometimes we've got to actually take a look at, well, what's actually going to get in the way of us achieving these things? So, for instance, one of the things might be self-doubt. You know, that's actually really common. Even I've had, and I work with multi-seven-figure business owners. I work with brand new startups and everything in between, right? People who have been in business for literally 15 years or more, people who are brand new to doing what it is that they're doing. The spread of experience goes far and wide. And the thing that we all have in common is self-doubt. We all have this in common. And it's what we do when that self-doubt strikes that really defines the results and the outcomes of what's going to happen next. Sounds logical, and it is actually logical, but when you're in it, it can just be a little bit like, ugh. But the thing that we need to do, and it's a little bit like a tantruming child that you can't really very well ignore, because they just tend to get louder and louder and louder. And then they tend to attract more people, particularly if you're out in a supermarket. More people are looking in and they're judging you, and they're like, why aren't you dealing with this tantruming child? Self-doubt is like a tantruming child. These worries, these fears, these stress points, these things that we do our very freaking best to try and ignore are actually screaming out for us to pay attention to them. Not because we have to buy into them, right? It's not about saying, or even validating it. It's really just saying, okay, thank you. You know, that's great. Pat on the head. I don't have time for this. You know, move the fuck on and go do something else. So one of the things I had everybody do was to actually write out all of the things that could possibly get in the way. I got them writing it out. We named it the murky pit of shitness. And like I said to them, like, I really want you to get down into that murky pit of shitness. I want you dragging out all of those things that are in there, lurking in there, like nasty little gremlins and toxic sludge and that big black cloud of ness. So I want you to drag those in and up and out of that and get them onto paper. And we then did a burning ceremony, which was really fun. So I did very strongly encourage you to do that as well. Once we had that down, it became very, very clear to them that actually what it is that they want to create could be done very, very easily. So the thing that we then started to have a look at, and this is where the magic starts to get created. It's like, well, like, because one of these fears has been around, well, what will my peers say? What will my competitors say? What if somebody thinks that I'm starting to copy them? What if someone starts to copy me? And like that was some of the things that I know has rattled around in my brain for over the past. Oh, actually, it's really interesting, right? The fears that we don't acknowledge are often the fears that will be reflected to us by someone else. So I had someone that I trusted actually say to me that I didn't appear to be any different these days to another particular person online. And I was like, wait, what? Really? And there was like all of these reasons thrown at me, and I've just gone, oh, okay, well, I respectfully disagree, but all right. That was how I verbalized the response, and then I moved on. But then as soon as I got off that call, I messaged somebody else that I really trust implicitly, who would actually tell me if they thought that I had been going down this, being influenced by this other person type thing, or following down a certain path, or did they think that there was some validity to this particular comment that had been made. And this person came back and said, oh, hell no. Like, no. I would let you know if that was what was going on. So I've gone, okay, that's fine. Move on. So, we all have these things, like, because there was I suppose there was an element of me hoping and thinking and going like, oh shit, have I fucked up? Have I actually tried to do something or am I trying to be someone that I'm not? I don't feel like I am, but maybe I am. It did spark that little niggle, which then needed to be doused, like a gremlin being doused in water, or like a vampire being exposed to the light, right? It needed to be dealt with and go, actually, no, you are, like, and the feedback was, no, you are very, very much being you. This is exactly the you. You are more you than I've ever seen you. And I'm just like, oh, thank fuck for that. So that was a really good thing, like online and in delivery and in my marketing and the way that things are being done. And, so I'm just going, yeah, that was what I thought, but okay, that's great. So these self-doubts, even for, like, I've done more than $5 million in sales, and I still have these things come up. We've got loads of people that follow me on the page, and these things come up. Loads of people on my list, like, really amazing. 99.9% of the time, the feedback and the comments and the interactions from you guys are all freaking amazing. It's really, really rare that something sparks up, but when it does, rather than just kind of like pretending that it doesn't exist, it's really important that we actually acknowledge that and then do the work to deal with it and then release it back into the wild, Like Rex Hunt, like what did Rex Hunt say? Like, kiss it and throw it back, whatever that thing was, that fishing show. That was part of a very, very long previous life ago. So we did all of that. And then this next thing that then came about, once we'd put all of those fears to rest, is actually creating a way for you to always have original content, for you to always have original thinking, for you to always be on the forefront, so that if you see something else similar going out, you can be like, well, like, this is actually my proprietary process. This is exactly the way that I step people through. They've either copied me, which then ends up being a cease and desist, legal letter, or sometimes our ideas float around in the collective consciousness and other people like pick those up and off and run. And just on that, actually, you guys all know that there's more than enough to go around, right? Hey Catherine, hey Casey, there is so much to go around. And even if somebody was to jump on a live stream directly after this and try and say exactly the same thing that I've said, there will be people who would like them more than what, people like me. And there'll be other people who like me than what they like them. It's just the nature of all the things. But one of the things that on that point that I can remind you of is that if you want to make 100 grand, right? So if you want to do 6 figures, that beautiful 6 figures, or add 6 figures into your business, you only need to find 100 people paying you $1,000 a year on average for you to make 100 grand or add 100 grand. Not rocket science, people. Alternatively, if you can get that average annual spend up to $6,000, you only need to find 83 people out of the whole entire world to invest $6,000 with you over a year and you're sitting on $500,000 a year. You know, it's not, you can't tell me that there's not 83 people that would like you more than what they would like me if we were doing the exact same thing. There's 83 people in the world that would like me versus liking you, but then there's 83 and 83 and 83 and 83. Like, there's so much to go around, it's just not even funny. So that's that little rant. But aside from that, the thing that we need to really do is to be able to create a strong framework for your content, for your marketing, and for your proprietary process, so that you're able to show how you move people from one place to another. So for instance, my proprietary process is all around being visible. You know, as we know, it's pretty clear, like the name of my book is Visible. So everything is about visible, 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 being visible online, changing lives, being really amazing. Now, what I do is I help people who have got these dreams of being really successful online, generating programs, products, whatever, marketing, really kick-ass amazing stuff, and so that they can step into really being a rock star of their industry and then becoming iconic. That's my proprietary process. That's what I do. That's what I step people through. And there's a whole bunch of different ways that I unpack and facilitate that. And the outcome from that is that they are visible, which means they get more clients, which means they make more money, but it's on their terms, so that they still have the time, the choice, and the freedom to live their life in the way that they freaking want versus trying to live it in the way that somebody else dictates that they should live it. So that's just that little thing. So how do you do that? I think the bottom thing, the bottom line, the foundational thing that you need to decide on is, number one, what is the key thing, usually one word, maybe two, that you really help people achieve? So for me, it's visibility. For some other people, it's confidence. For other people, it might be clarity. For other people, it might be money. For other people, it might be awareness, whatever the case might be, like to stand out. So what is that one thing, first of all? And then, if you've got someone sitting in front of you, what is the first thing that you talk about before you start trying to fix things, before you start trying to do anything? What is that first thing that you do with people? And then what does that then lead into? And then what does that then lead into? And what does that then lead into? So there's usually 4 things that we work through. So if it's me with Visible, first of all, we get really clear on who you are, what your strengths are, your knowledge, your zone of genius, you know, what really makes you different and how to really own that, right? And then we start looking at them. We start looking at the niche, how to communicate with them, how to connect and engage, how to really speak in a language and bring them in as part of all of their journey, right? And then we've got to look at, so my first one is you, and then it's them, and then we actually come back to you again. And this is where we start looking at how to build presence, how to build your platforms, how to really use your energy to drive those 2 things up, 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 and up. And then the next thing for me is the combination of your audience and you, and then it becomes an us conversation. So it's about us together then driving this message, you getting out there helping more people, you creating the movement, me helping you to do that, right? So they're the 4 stages that I step people through. You, them, you, us. They're the 4 things. So what would that look like for you? Now, in each of those segments, obviously, maybe not obviously, but what you've got to remember is that these then get drilled down. So in the you section, hey Jess, in the you section, there's multiple layers to all of that. In the them section, there's multiple layers to all of that. Hey Christina, in the you section again, because remember 1, 2, 3, then there's more things there's things that we unpack through that. And then for the us section, there's a whole ton of stuff that gets rolled out through there. Once you know what those 4 stages are for you, that's when we can start to play. That's when we can start to go, all right, so like what stories can I tell to story arc and bring them all through? What theme might I like to use? Is it about glamour? Is it about going from feeling like an ugly duckling to a really beautiful swan? Is it about feeling invisible to visible, which is certainly my process? Is it going from feeling like you've got nothing to say and you're scared, that shy person who is now absolutely front and center on stage, really sharing that message confidently? Are you going from hidden to aware? Are you going from blind to see, right? To seeing. Does that make sense, guys? What is it that, how is it that you're taking them through? How is it that you're taking them through those 4 steps? How this then becomes fun, and I think it's fun, and where the magic then comes in is that we start to have a look at ourselves again and go, okay, well, what's really important for me? What's really fun for me? Now, if you guys are commenting, I can't see them. So please comment again, because I can't see them, and I'm hoping that they're going to come up on my phone screen as we're talking. I'm hoping that my earphones are working. My earphones, Nicola. My AirPods. How do I call them? Earphones. Where this next thing starts to become really, really fun and kind of magical, I guess, is where we then get to go, all right, so what's really fun for me? So, hey, Jess, oh, perfect. This is perfect that you've just rolled on right at this moment in time. So Jess ran a marathon, right? Ran a marathon in Dubbo recently. I'm not sure if it was a full marathon or a half marathon. Either way, ridiculously badass. And I know that there are stages when you're learning to run, and then before, like, the marathon might be the outcome that you're looking for. There's different stages that you're working through. So just when you go back and you have a listen to the rest of this live stream, this will make a bit more sense. But what you're looking at is that you can then start to talk about the different stages of energy. You can talk about, like, the first, it was a full marathon, right? So the first 10Ks, then the second 10Ks, and then the third 10Ks, and then the final 10Ks. I think it's 40Ks, right, for a full marathon. So then you can talk about, like, what hits in, and then how that acts as a metaphor to what it is that you do. So, in the first 10Ks, you might be really excited and pumped, and it's really, really great. And then in the second lot of 10Ks, it's like, why the fuck am I doing this? You might notice that your feet start to hurt. You might notice that your digestive system needs to vacate. You might notice that you're just thinking, like, oh my God. But then by the time then the third lot of 10Ks come around, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like you find your second and your third win or your 25th win. And then the final 10 is like the home stretch. And it's just like, we're nearly there. And you're just in that focus mode of like, dunk, 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 dunk. However it is that, as an example, that's how you're doing it. You might talk about climbing a mountain. I know for me, like I use a lot of roller derby analogies, right? So, it's freaking exhausting. And the last thing that you want to do is just sit on the bench and let your teammates down. You've got to get back up. You've got to get in the game. If you get hit down on that track, you get back up and you go hard. You hold your own. You have to hold your space. You have to do your thing, right? So depending on what you're passionate about and what's been really maybe pivotal in your life and in your world, we can start to build a really amazing story arc around your stuff that no one else has got, because they're your stories. It's something that's really important to you. It also then helps to completely annihilate any boring ass, vanilla, freaking bland, beige, and boring marketing, because you're starting to tell more stories. You're starting to tell more tales, right? So I guess it's a little bit like if we're standing at the side of the track before roller derby, like the anticipation, I've got to tell you, like the nerves are fierce, right? Like literally we're all looking at each other going, oh my God, do you need to do a nervous poo? Do you need to do a nervous wee? It's like full on, you guys. Like it's just so funny. Like we've got our protection gear on, we've got our mouth guards. Yeah, okay. Who needs to go to the toilet? Anyone need to go to the toilet? You got your water? Okay, great. And then does anyone need to go to the toilet? It's like, it's a huge thing. And then it's like, okay, then you get the call at like 30 seconds to Derby, and we all rush out onto the track, and it's like, okay, we're ready. And it's like, and magically that need to, that those nerves just kind of disappear, because all of a sudden you're focused on the thing, right? So I know that with live streams, for instance, before you press go live, you can be sitting there going like, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? You might be feeling nervous. You might not like the way your hair looks today, or maybe you don't have makeup on, or maybe that's how you do it, or you do have makeup on and you're feeling really awkward. Maybe you're worried about what if the words are going to come out or not, and all the rest of it. So, but then you press go live, and then it's like, okay, I'm here. I've got to fucking deliver now. So, here it is. Let's go. And I think it's really fascinating. But then if we look at roller derby as well, like a really great business metaphor, like by the end of the first half, like we're all knackered, but we're also so excited and so pumped. It's like, okay, yeah, great. I'm really tired. We've got another half an hour. We've got 15 minutes till we're back on the track. Let's go do a wee or a poo. And then let's come back and like regroup, grab some water, go have a chat to your friends who are like your cheer squad, and let's get back ready to rumble. But there's not an option to not get back on the track, right? You're not going to walk away and let your people down. And business, I think too often we get knocked down, we get tired, we get puffed out, and we're sore, right? You might even be bruised and battered. Not that tends to happen much in derby these days. Bruises, yeah, okay, that's true. Battered, not so much. But I guess like the thing is that so many people will fall over in business that have a failed launch, or they put something out there and nobody buys, or they'll put a post up and they don't get any likes or no shares or no comments, or like one or two. And then they start thinking, oh, well, like maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I shouldn't carry on, or maybe they don't like me, or blah, 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 all of that other stuff. And you can't pay attention to that, right? So come back to and this is where your job is to get back on the track and collect the points. In roller derby, in business, your job is to show up, deliver the message, collect the points almost of practice, right? So every day that you get on and do a live stream, tally it. Every day you go and do something different, tally it. Every day that you go and put a post up, that you're showing up, that you're putting yourself out there, acknowledge how fucking amazing that is. Because actually, so many people just tap out. They go, yeah, nah, I'm out of here. I'm done. Can't do it. Can't handle it. Not interested. Don't have the just for you. It's like I just don't have the stamina to keep going. Not for you. You obviously finished the marathon. That's not what I meant. Other people, I'm sure, probably hit that exit button. They're like, no, I don't have the stamina to be able to go through. So business is very much like that. So where that's all going in terms of your story arc, it's really important that you've got that story arc that you can then weave through those 4 stages so that you can help people, so that people can make sense of it easily, right? So my people go from dreaming to having this amazing online business, making all the monies, helping all the people, being the queen of the motherfucking internet, to being an absolute rock star in their industry, to stepping into being iconic. That's what I do for people. So you want to be able to articulate that really easily for yourself as well. So we did all of that on the weekend. Tess said that it was a great weekend. Yeah, waiting to board, such an awesome weekend. It was awesome, I agree. Oh, just nervous ways. You're laughing at nervous ways. The nervous poos are the funniest things, actually. It is, I've never experienced anything like it. It's such a bizarre physiological response. Migraines, I get, I can understand that. I do get stress migraines or anxiety-based migraines, but to have my body do these things, it's really, really interesting. My digestive system do these things. It's really very interesting. So that was what we covered off on the weekend, and then we got to implementing. So it's all well and good, you guys, to have all of this information. If you do nothing with it, though, nothing happens, right? It's like you go and buy all the groceries and then you go put them in the pantry, but if you don't ever go and get them out of the pantry and cook them, then nothing freaking happens. So it's really important that you're implementing. It's really important that you're seen as being different and unique, and really embracing that point of difference with you within the stories, but also within your proprietary process, because nobody else can mimic that. No one else can mimic you. They haven't got even a hope in hell of even coming close to you with the way that you do things when you do it in that way. So you're certain to be the leader. You're certain to stand out. Your people will freaking love you for it, and you will be fabulous and amazing and be seen in that way. All right. That is what we went off. So I wanted to share that with you so that you guys can soak up some of the magicalness, the magic that happened over the weekend. It's really amazing to be home. I'm just really waiting for the weather gods to turn up that temperature dial so that I can get back to wearing my tank tops and little shorts on walks. That will make me very, very happy. Now, if you've got any questions about this, make sure you let me know. Would love to see you in Queen of the Motherfucking Internet, where we're actually going to be going through that process in a whole lot more detail. So, and then how you can use that to make money, how you can use that to get clients, how you can use that to grow your positioning and your presence in order for you to be able to help more people. So the link for that is www.nicolamoras.com.au/internet. Oh, look, my thing is working. I can put it in here. So we go for 6 weeks. We do start on Monday. We'll roll out. Actually, officially we start Monday week. This coming Monday, the week of that, I think the first lesson will go live up on Tuesday. The first class will be up on Tuesday. You'll find more of the information on the link that I've just popped in there for you though. So have an amazing day. Go kick some motherfucking ass. Be visible, have fun doing it, share your message, do the thing that you're here to do, and remember that the world is so fucking ready for your brand of awesomeness. But you've got to get out there and share it. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.